Icy roads were a big problem today. It's 5:30 and I'm Jim Vandy.
And I'm Nicole Samuelson. The spring snowstorm brought freezing rain and created havoc all over central Indiana today. The weather caused a fatal accident this morning on State Road 44 near Franklin, south of Indianapolis.
A woman and her 2 children were killed when a car struck a pickup truck. How long will we have to put up with the ice and snow? We'll ask our forecaster, Michael Haney-Wells. Michael?
You're right. Today was pretty messy outside. You see the sleet turned about noon o'clock. When you woke up this morning, you had sleet. About noon, it turned over to snow. We had about 3 inches of accumulation after it turned over. Temperature was 29 degrees. Wind was out of the northwest at 14. Here, I had a couple people ask me what sleet was today. First, when precipitation starts, it starts in a form of snow, which is in the cold level air, and it passes through a warmer level, which is above 32 degrees, and the snow melts to rain, and then it passes through another form of cold air, which freezes it again, and it comes down in little ice pellets. Current conditions outside, there may be a few lingering flurries out there, but for the most part it has stopped. No more accumulations. Temperature is 29 degrees. It went out of the northwest at 14 miles an hour. And here's a radar image. You can see Muncie right here. The snow has pushed off to the east, but northern Indiana is still getting some snow, but it should stop within the next hour. For your week forecast, stay tuned.
All right, thank you, Michael. Here in Muncie, we are pretty lucky. Several car accidents caused only minor injuries.
As NewsCenter reporter Dustin Grove tells us, today's storm proved more annoying than harmful.
So much for March going out like a lamb.
It's nuts. It stinks. I think it sucks.
This morning, a little ice. By noon, the snow nearly 3 inches deep. Plows out in full force, but trying to keep up.
And driving in this stuff, not a good idea unless you have to be somewhere.
This woman has to.
I have about a half an hour drive home, and we have to pick up our daughter tonight from Indianapolis at the airport.
Oh yeah, slipping and sliding, that's right.
My car's dead.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. 3 months too late.
Wow. So that's the hazards of living in Indiana.
Dustin Grove, NewsCenter 43.
Your full forecast, including when that snow will melt, is coming up in just a few minutes.
In other news this evening, the investigation continues in the murder of Bradley A. Swab. Police are questioning Timothy Dennison's claims that he accidentally shot and killed 26-year-old Muncie man on March 18th. Swab was dead several hours before his body was discovered in Dennison's trailer at White's Mobile Park. Dennison also told investigators he couldn't remember the incidents leading to and following the shooting. He's charged with murder and obstruction of justice, a Class D felony. Dennison is scheduled to appear at an initial hearing next Monday in Delaware County Court 1.
Concerned Muncie citizens continue to fight public smoking. The latest battle took place yesterday at the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. Julie Guvia presented a petition that was signed by 691 citizens that want to completely ban smoking in restaurants. Muncie's Smoking Task Force is finalizing and is about to recommend the latest smoking regulations for the restaurants. The task force says that the regulation would greatly restrict smoking in all restaurants, but not abolish it.
Delaware County government will have to borrow money this spring to operate, even after lowering property taxes in recent years. The head of the council's finance committee, Todd Donati, informed Delaware County commissioners that the county would have to borrow up to $1 million from the county reassessment fund. According to the Star Press, Donati offered several reasons for the cash shortage. One cause being interest on investments is down by $2 million this year. The council will likely borrow from the reassessment fund, which has a $2.4 million balance. No interest will be charged to the loan.
A Jay County man has just added an additional charge to a sentence that he is currently serving. Brian Thompson of Portland, Indiana, is now charged again with child molesting. Thompson is charged with a Class C felony that could increase his already 40-year sentence to another 5 years. He is already serving time from when he was found guilty of molesting 2 11-year-old girls and then threatening to kill them if they mentioned the attack.
Diabetes is on the rise in Indiana. According to health officials, 1 out of 17 adults in the state has the disease. Complications resulting from the diabetes are extremely high, says Health Commissioner Greg Wilson, because 75% of Hoosiers with the disease aren't being monitored at expert recommendations. New guidelines for diabetes care have been sent to 12,000 Indiana doctors by the health department. At least 360,000 Hoosiers are affected by diabetes, according to Wilson. He says the disease cost the state $3.6 billion in 1999.
Hoosiers are displeased with Governor O'Bannon's budget cuts, and the new ratings prove it. Opinion polls on the governor have dropped 10% since November. The polls show that the budget cuts are affecting over 60% of Indiana residents. The poll was designed by the Public Opinion Laboratory at IUPUI and was conducted last week.
Are Americans feeling more confident about the economy? We'll tell you when NewsCenter returns.
And we'll have the latest about prospects of peace in the Middle East. NewsCenter at 5:30 continues.
The Palestinians confirmed that Yasir Arafat won't be joining other Arab leaders at a summit in Beirut this weekend. Israel's prime minister set some very difficult conditions. If violence broke out while he was gone, the U.S. would have to recognize Israel's right to refuse to let Arafat return home. Ariel Sharon also said Arafat would first have to declare a ceasefire and tell his people to stop attacks and terrorism. A Saudi plan for peace calls on Israel to withdraw from all of the territories it captured in the 1967 war. In exchange, the Arabs would promise an end to their conflict with Israel.
Officials say that as many as 1,800 people may have been dead from a powerful earthquake that hit Afghanistan. The quake tipped the Richter scale at 6.2 and was located just 90 miles north of the country's capital, Kabul. The Pentagon says that no U.S. troops were hurt in the disasters, yet military officials say that the U.S. is prepared to do whatever is necessary to help the victims of this quake. The U.S. is awaiting word on exactly what kind of aid is needed.
The 3 firefighters who raised the flag at Ground Zero in September received the giant symbol today. The aircraft carrier Theodore Roosevelt acquired the flag back in October as the ship headed out to help fight the war on terrorism. It flew on the carrier and 6 others in the war effort. The Roosevelt is returning home to Norfolk, Virginia after 6 months of duty. The ship is scheduled to arrive tomorrow. Well, as the country begins to heal its wounds from September 11th, consumer confidence is on the rebound. The Conference Board says the Consumer Confidence Index made the biggest jump in 25 years this month. Confidence about both current and future conditions soared 15 points to 110.2.
A truck driver is dead after he drove his truck into a tractor trailer that overturned just minutes earlier. The CVS pharmacy truck was the first involved in the chaos. The vehicle swerved to avoid a careless driver, causing the truck to jackknife, flip over, and spill all of its contents on the highway. Minutes later, a second truck slammed into the wreckage. The driver of the second truck was pronounced dead on the scene, while the driver of the CVS truck is still in stable condition.
President Bush is naming 2 men he calls fine Americans to hold the nation's top 2 public health positions. The president appointed Ricard Carmona to be Surgeon General and Elias Zerhouni to direct the National Institutes of Health. The president says these gentlemen are distinguished physicians who will bring exceptional qualities to their post. The 2 nominees have made terrific strides to reach this point in their life. It was an emotional day for both.
A man drove a truck into a mosque, forcing police to call in a bomb squad and seal off the area. All of this occurred near the Florida State University campus yesterday. Officials think the incident appeared to be deliberate, but still not sure of the motive behind it. There was no explosive found in the vehicle, but the driver is presently in custody. The building was damaged, but there is no reports of any injuries.
Police in Vail, Colorado received a call over the weekend from a frantic woman who claimed she was kidnapped.
But as Matt Renew reports, police quickly figured out that it was just a hoax.
It's a story of the dangers in internet relationships.
It's a very strange case.
That started yesterday when Vail police received a 911 call from Minturn resident Mark Thomas, who told police his girlfriend, who he thought was named Jen Miller, was being chased along I-70 near Vail and then kidnapped.
There were a number of calls made.
All a planned-out hoax, police say, by a 33-year-old woman in Denver.
We have now determined that the person who was on the cell phone saying that she'd been kidnapped has actually fabricated this entire story.
A woman that police say was lashing out at her ex-boyfriend, took his current girlfriend's picture off the internet and used that picture in a 2-month-long cyber relationship with Mark Thomas, who then gave that picture to Vail police when he thought that his girlfriend had been kidnapped.
The woman who has concocted this whole story and was the person on the other end of the phone is facing possible charges of false reporting and also false impersonation of this Jen Miller, who turns out to probably be a totally fictitious person.
Who seemed to fool everyone, most of all her Minturn cyber boyfriend, who never met her face to face.
He thought we would not act on this kidnapping allegations because he hadn't met her actually.
In Vail, Matt Renew, 9 News Mountain Newsroom.
Thank you, Matt. The US Postal Service is getting ready to decontaminate one of the anthrax-infected post offices in Washington. Officials have sealed off the building and intend on pumping chlorine dioxide gas to kill all of the deadly germs. The decontamination process could take up to a month or more, and after the treatment is over, experts plan to take thousands of tests to make sure that no sign of anthrax exists within the Washington location. And Johnny Cochran is at it again. This high-profile attorney has filed a $50 million lawsuit on behalf of Thomas Morris Jr.'s family. Thomas Morris Jr. was one of the Brentwood postal workers who died from an inhalation of anthrax. Cochran claims that the Kaiser facility in Marlow Heights misdiagnosed Morris, telling him that he only had a virus and sent him home. 3 days later, Morris died. One of Cochran's lawyers says he hopes that no one will ever have to suffer from anthrax again.
We believe that there was some malice involved in this case, and we won't get more specific than that because this case is now in litigation. But the complaint spells it out for us, and what we're looking for in terms of to make sure this never happens again.
Well, thank you. Well, once again, it's beginning to look like Christmas everywhere you look.
Yes, it is.
What's going on?
It's out of the way now. Temperatures are going to be warming up. Tomorrow, I think I have it at 43. So stay tuned, and I'll give you complete details. Welcome back to News Center 43 at 5:30. Today's high was only 29 degrees, well below our normal high this time of year. Today's low is 24, normal low is 34, and the sunset tonight is right at 7 o'clock. Today's highs around the state. 31 was the lucky number. South Bend, Lafayette, Indianapolis, and Terre Haute all came in at 31. Fort Wayne and Muncie, both 29. Current conditions outside, flurries, maybe. They could be coming with a wraparound, but unlikely. Temperature is 29 degrees, wind out of the northwest at 14, and the humidity is 72%. Here's what caused the system today. A low pressure system right around the Kentucky, southern Indiana, brought sleet early this morning, but after a cold front got well off, colder air moved in and changed that sleet to all snow, and we got 3 inches of accumulation. Here's a current satellite. You can see this clearing back here be moving into our area about 11 o'clock tonight, maybe between 11 and 1, but right now northern Indiana is still getting some snow. It should be tapering off within the next hour. Here's the radar. You can see northern Indiana has one more heavy band of snow to move through. They could get another ½ inch of accumulation, but no more than 1 inch. Here's tomorrow. You see a high pressure system moving in, going to dominate almost the whole central United States. That low pressure and cold front would be pushing off into the Atlantic Ocean by late tomorrow night into Thursday. Here's lows tonight, 20 degrees. I have it sitting right at 25. 10s just up in Michigan, 30s just may touch into Evansville tonight. Highs tomorrow, 50s coming into Indiana, but 40s for us. I have it at 43, which is well above what today was, but still below the normal high this time of year. Here's Thursday's surface map. The high pressure system moves off to the east. You can see a low pressure system sitting up there in Canada, and these dotted lines here indicating a cold front could be forming and bring us rain Thursday night, late Thursday into Friday morning, but not much expected out of that. Tonight, you have clearing. The clouds will be clearing out, temperature of 25. The wind will be out of the northwest at 9 miles an hour. Tomorrow morning, the sun's actually going to be popping out. By noon, I hope all the clouds will be gone with all sun in the sky. Temperature of 32. The wind will be out of the northwest at 7. Tomorrow, there's the sun coming out. A high temperature of 43. The wind will be out of the northwest at 6. This is still below normal for this time of year, but it is warming up. There's Thursday 51, but late Thursday, early Friday, you have a chance of rain. Friday, you're going to have 54, Saturday 51, and Sunday even looks like 50, so 50s all through the weekend. If we can get the rain out of the way, Thursday night and Friday morning will be sitting good.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to that sunshine. I'm tired of scraping my windows. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know. I don't have a car. I don't have to deal with this. Well, thanks a lot, Michael. All right, Corey, there was a lot of snow today. Did we still have sports going on, or did they play in it?
There's nothing going on. There's absolutely no sports going on in the entire Muncie area. I will have more on that and a lot of other things when NewsCenter 43 returns. With snow on the ground and at only 20 degrees outside, you would think it's late December, but it's March, and you know what that means? It's time for the Ball State football team to have spring practice. That's right, the defending West Division co-champions took to the frozen field to start spring practice week. This week, the Cardinals will be in practice till April 14th, when they will end with the annual Cardinal and White scrimmage at Ball State Stadium. The Cardinals will look to build off of last year's success. They finished 4-1 in the MAC West. The big games for this coming up season in 2002, the Cardinals will open the year at Missouri. Then they'll play at Clemson 2 weeks later. They finish up with Marshall. Tough season. Tonight, 4 teams will face off to decide who will play for the National Invitational Tournament final. Tonight, Memphis plays Temple in one game. Syracuse faces South Carolina, who defeated Ball State in the other. The winners will meet each other on Thursday for the title. The NIT was scheduled this year to end the same week as the NCAA tournament. The committee members were trying to get better ratings. The NIT title game can be seen on ESPN Thursday night. This past weekend, the Eagles of Delta won their first ever boys state basketball championship. NewsCenter reporter Tom Kozrowski was there.
You know, they say defense wins championships, but a whole lot of offense surely helps. And the Delta Eagles provided both on Saturday in their quest for their first ever state championship against the Harding Hawks. It was a one-man show for the Delta Eagles starring Kelly Robbins. Kelly blasted the 3A state final scoring record with 38 points on 10 of 20 from the field and a perfect 15 for 15 from the charity stripe.
I'm not real worried about the 38 points. I'll worry about that when I tell my kids about it, but this state championship means more to me than anything else.
While Kelly wasn't too concerned with the record, brother Rob, a forward for Ball State, was hoping Kelly wouldn't snap the school scoring record, which he currently owns.
To set the record for points in a game is unbelievable. I got worried there that he was going to break my scoring record for the school. I was sitting there on the sides thinking, oh man, this is, what a way to break it though.
And while Kelly was on fire, so was the Eagle defense, holding the Hawks to just 8 offensive rebounds to give Paul Keller his first state title.
To be a part of this, it's really just hard to describe. I feel very blessed, and I thank God for the opportunity to coach these young men.
The night was also special for senior Joey Lynch. After falling short of a football state title earlier this season to the Jasper Wildcats, Lynch got the redemption he was looking for.
We're so close in football, and we almost got a job done, and then to be able to come back in the next sport, the next season, and have the opportunity to play a state championship, and we finally got the job done.
You may recall the Eagles needed 3 overtimes against Jasper just to advance to Conseco for a shot at their first ever state title. But they had no problems tonight with the Harding Hawks, winning by a final of 65-54 and leading almost the entire game. Congratulations to the Delta Eagles on their first ever state championship in boys basketball. Reporting from Conseco Fieldhouse, I'm Tom Kozrowski, NewsCenter 43 Sports.
Thanks, Tom. This was the 3rd trip to Indianapolis for a Delta team this season. The girls volleyball team won the girls 3A crown. The football team finished runners-up, and of course, the boys basketball team won the 3A basketball crown. For those of you who are planning to attend any high school after-school events tonight, there aren't any going on. You're going to have to find something else to do. The spring snow today has played havoc on all events. All events have been canceled tonight due to the bad weather. You can check out to see what's been canceled on WLBC or Indiana Public Radio. Some sports notes tonight. Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis will fight each other for Lewis's IBF and WBC title on June 8th in Memphis. The University of Washington is talking to Missouri and Gonzaga head coaches Quinn Snyder and Mark Few for the vacant head coaching job there. Bob Huggins will stay at the University of Cincinnati as he turned down an offer to coach at his alma mater, West Virginia. And that is sports. Huggins is going to stay at University of Cincinnati. He's been there a long time, turned that school into national power. Of course, there's a lot of snow there too, though. So,
good deal. Thanks, Corey.
A child starts swimming at an unusually young age.
And Michael will be here with your wake-up weather after this break. By the age of 2, most kids are just figuring out how to walk. Yet there's a different plan of action for one young boy. Albin of Aleppi, India, is working to become the world's youngest swimmer. His practice schedule includes swimming for 30 minutes at a time for 6 days of the week in a large stretch of water near his hometown. His coach says that he has always been fascinated with water, and now it has become a way of life for him.
Well, Michael, let's take a look at our last forecast.
Okay, tomorrow morning when you wake up, the sun should be coming out. Clouds will be clearing. Temperature of 25 tomorrow. Sun comes out. A temperature of 43. The wind will be out of the northwest at 6. And your 3-day, all 50s, but late Thursday night, Friday morning, you could get some rain out of it. So
hopefully the rain will leave soon.
Hopefully.
Thank you. Well, new at 9:30 tonight, East Central Indiana has faced a barrage of snow and ice within the last 24 hours. Will it stick around or be melted by the sunshine? NewsCenter forecaster Rebecca Clark will have the up-to-date forecast for Muncie, Anderson, and the rest of East Central Indiana. Be sure to join us.
Thanks for joining us at NewsCenter at 5:30, and I'm Jim Vandy.
I'm Nicole Samuelson. NewsCenter 43 is an official CNN Student Bureau. Be sure to join us tonight for NewsCenter at 9:30.